The classes, the gesture of saying hi and the gesture of saying bye. I'm observing so many different ways. Bye, bye. But the best is goodbye or hello. Or the gesture for, oh, it was just a dream that flew away. Too much sociological implication of gesture. Anyway, I do hope your morning has gone well. And as I was doing prostrations in front of the Buddha, the thought came, looking at the flowers, at the flower, anything held too tightly will die. So then I thought, don't hold your Dharma flower too tightly. In the same way, the flower of our life, don't hold so tightly. The scent will fade away and the petals will wither and die. Why do we choose to live life? By strangling it and binding it and enslaving it, as opposed to celebrate it. Did you celebrate your life today? Isn't it a celebration that you got up, that you could walk? Perhaps you took a shower and you had something to eat. And we can go on and on about the celebration of the life today. And maybe you should do a survey to canvas. Now, the words we use, everything goes back to the canvas. When I say, yes, you got it. The professors and the teachers at the university understand the joke. Remember the absurdity of it. You must laugh. And I guess part of my talking about intention. In my other class, we do the koan. What is your intention? What was your intention this morning? Did you have an intent to celebrate life? It was only a brief moment of standing outside among the leaves and doing prostrations toward the Buddha before I had to leave. But in that sudden moment of presence, feeling the sunlight and the blueness of the sky, and hearing the birds and the squirrels playing, going by. Oh, it's a wonderful day. Maybe I should try to get out. Oh, I hope I don't waste it away by just putzing about. So again, I was talking to another person via talking to Gaelic. Oh, I was talking to Gaelic, and in a moment, Rinpoche said, hi, and then he made some, hello, how you doing, blah, blah. But he looks wonderful. He sends his blessings. So again, in that moment, there was a celebration. And as I looked at my master's teacher this morning, remember that I saw his face last night, his wonderful smile, and him just sitting and practicing. And there was a sort of comfort in knowing that as we practice, our teachers practice every day for our behalf. So take a breath in, please, and breathe out. And as I was doing class yesterday morning, whatever has passed, as I said, as Talopa, Ropa, Dongjempa, what has passed, let it go. It is only a mirage, an apparition, an echo, or a reflection. You cannot recapture the moment that has occurred. But what we do is we keep, I'll use the word regurgitating, whatever the responses or reactions that may have been from the event, good, bad, or indifferent. And most of the time, we hover on the negative as opposed to reviewing the past and looking at its positive. But it doesn't matter. negative, positive, let go. Then I found some words of Toko Urgyen Rinpoche on the social media, and I'm reading and I go, oh, I had the blessing, and the celebration of sitting directly in front of Toko Urgyen Rinpoche as he spoke those words. And really, I will see if I can find them because they're so succinct in terms of how to rest in present moment wakefulness. So going back to Talopa, who says, let go of the past. Let go of what has gone. Let go of what may come. So future, always, oh, what does my future look like? Myself, what does the future look like? Oh, I'm not sure. Oh, I don't know. Should I do this? Should I? Always in a quandary about what has not even occurred yet. And as a result, then we're constantly in fear and worry, in uncertainty and dissatisfaction and alienation and so forth and so on. And I hope within there's a laughing at ourselves about all of our gyrations in space. So Talopa says, don't examine the present moment. Don't even examine now. Now, that doesn't mean be irresponsible. I was going through this and thinking, when Milarepa heard these, he'd think, oh, I don't have to do anything. I'm already realized being. And then the rocks of Marapa came down upon him. And he did become, obviously, one of the greatest recognized yogis of Tibet. But basically, it comes back to, can we let go of the past? Can we give up our attachment of examination of the present and let go of what has not occurred yet? Then it says, don't try to figure anything out. Okay, what should I do? Should I go here? Should I go there? So forth and so on, blah, blah, blah. Then it says, don't try to make anything happen, figuring out and making happen. Now, this also is pertaining directly to our practices, but also we can infuse it into our dailiness. And then the last thing he said, which is even now that we have the opportunity to do so, it seems like perhaps maybe less so. It says, relax. But when I hear the word relax, as I say to the students, relaxation is an experience that arises from releasing and letting go. When you release the bondage, you put the water buckets down and you take the stones off your back. Didn't you relax? So he says, relax, then let go. Then we go, someone says, why don't you just relax? Okay, in just a minute, I'll relax. Why don't you relax? Okay, I have to finish this in an hour, I'll sit down. Why don't you relax? When I'm dead, I will relax. Oh, too much sunshine. Then he says, relax right now and rest. So leading, and as now we have entered on to the Dharma Express, right? Going to Realizationville, hopefully. What is it that you can celebrate this very moment? What is it that you can look upon as the blessings that have unfolded this day? Another case in point, I had just finished practice the other evening, and I picked the phone up to see, I was about to call Bhutan. And the picture that came up and flashed in front of my face was Toko Urgyen Rinpoche. And the practice I had just finished was transmitted to me directly by Toko Urgyen Rinpoche. So I'm sure you know what I immediately did is touch the phone to my head to receive the blessings of my teacher. So that's what I would like to try to find for you, is what I saw and read upon concluding this particular practice, which is really the pointing out instructions, which I can decipher because I have heard it many times and sitting directly at the feet of this great master. So that was me a blessing. And then last night, speaking with Gelik, and then he says, oh, here's Rinpoche. And there's Rinpoche. He is like a good Rinpoche. He is Buddha. And he's just sitting there, had finished eating, but just sitting on his seat, very serene, very happy. And again, oh, this is so wonderful. Again, just my hair stands up. Okay, you can feel tears. Oh, blessings of my teacher. I'm thinking about it now. I still feel in my body. So I hope you have these experiences. These are the blessings, and how do they arrive? Through faith, through devotion, through trust, having commitment and a conviction to engage in the process. Many words are being put forth now about social change, racial change, gender change, political change, etc. But none of those changes will come about unless we, as individuals, human beings, change. Again, I go back to the simple lessons I try to glean from my own life. My father wanted me to swim, but I'm just a little baby. I have never even been into the water. I don't know how to swim. So I remember him saying, okay, boy, it's time for you to learn how to swim. And I remember looking at him, and when I looked away, he threw me in the water. How mean. But he knew what he was doing, because he threw me in the water. And immediately what I didn't know how to do came to me to do. It is called self-preservation. When we're in a situation that seems impossible, somehow we have the capacity to rise to the occasion to make it possible. And perhaps that's where we are now. We have been thrown into the deep end. And we can either complain and flounder about and thrash about and be overwhelmed. I'm sure perhaps on a given point throughout the course of this time period, you're just going, oh, I'm just feeling overwhelmed. And then you straighten your back and you swim. I hope that's what you do. We practice to deal with the adversities. Lama Gelik and I were talking about the adversities of the sea of samsara. And the one who is carrying us across is not the Buddha. Yama, we just laughing. Yama is just like big white shark. I would say something inappropriate about the white sharks, but I won't, because I don't take it too serious. So please hold your flower lightly, enjoy its fragrance. But Mara, this unfolding of the samsaric conditions which we find ourselves, it's all in perception. Samsara, nirvana, one and the same. Buddha, you don't hear this phrase too much, it just came to me. Buddha and Mara, also one and the same. No Buddha, no Mara, no Mara, no Buddha. Right? Mara's essence, intrinsic empty. Buddha's essence, intrinsic empty. Buddha knew this. Mara did not know this. The difference between the wisdom knowing this and the ignorance that does not know. Mara is the ignorance that does not know. But Mara does know that we are also ignorant. And thus, we are like the little fish swimming in the ocean of samsara. And the sharks of Mara are merely waiting to consume us, watching some nature show last night. So please, this morning, and from every morning, as soon as you wake up, and even before you put your feet on the bed, oh, I celebrate We get older, our bodies become more rickety and we feel more aches and pains. But it's not just the older bodies, it's the younger bodies also, isn't it? But even before you put your feet upon the floor, oh, I will engage in the practice of loving kindness and compassion more so this day than I did the day before. Then you, up, okay, now ready to meet the day. I hope most of your days are like that. And even when it seems like it is most difficult, you look around and you discover how fortunate we are, how blessed we are. And most of my, I will say, colleagues, we are so blessed. Some living in the high mountains, some in forest hermitages, some are in cave dwellings, or in the monasteries, or just in their retreat rooms in their homes. And we have the opportunity to practice every day, twice a day, 3 times a day. At least you must, I'm requesting myself, also 2 hours a day. You want to be great virtuoso, Zubin Meda, Itzhak Perlman. There's one of the great violinists, I forget his name. It'll come to me. But if you want to be like that, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours a day, we practice. And the more you practice in the correct way, then you will achieve and you will rise to the height of possibilities. If your intentions is to do so, but you never move to the application of so, then it will only be a dream. So we must wake up from the dreaming, celebrate our lives, engage in practice for the benefit of all sentient beings with loving kindness and compassion before ourselves. And then it must extend to others. Then put others before yourself. And lastly, only consider others. And perhaps from that on, there is no consideration or separation of self and others, because we recognize that others and self are one and the same at the deep and deepest essence. We all have the enlightened quality. We all have the realized quality. And perhaps Rinpoche would say the shame is that it is so simple, we choose not to recognize it. And as I begin, everything is held so tight, it dies. So take a breath in this morning, please. Breathe out. Breathe in and out. In breath and breathe out. And even that in and of itself, your life force entering and exiting and then coming again. There is no guarantee that it will come again. And for some individuals in the short time that we have been sitting, their breath did not come again. And their life force sailed away and left a shallow carcass to decay. Not our case, not yet at this time. So is that not a blessing? Pay attention. Rest. Breathe in again. And from that place of inner rest and hopefully peace and harmony, bring your hands together. And then we just have the thought. I pay homage to all of the enlightened Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, lineage masters, and all the way down to our present day teachers, who are the embodiment of the enlightened quality of all of the Buddhas, lineage masters, bodhisattvas, teachers, etc., down to the present. May at this very moment, we are open like flowers to receive their blessings. And receiving their blessings, we do not hold it tightly for ourselves, but we do so we can be of greater benefit to other sentient beings throughout all the various realms of existence. Our request, our intention, aspiration, and application in doing. And breathe in again. Breathe out and just rest for a moment. Then whatever peace and happiness, harmony, serenity that we all desire, where might it be found other than in this present moment of awareness? And in that present moment of awareness, let go and be in present moment wakefulness. Again, restating Talopa's last words, rest. Rest in the unadorned, spontaneous presence without end or beginning, the intrinsic, realized or enlightened nature of one's own mind. And that is inseparable from that of all other sentient beings who have the same quality. But going back to what is the blessing? If that is the case, the blessing is we have the karmic manifestation and merit that allows us to have this precious human birth with leisures and endowments to meet with the Dharma, to hear the name of the great enlightened ones, to receive the teachings from the learned and realized masters. That this is a blessing, isn't it? Lama Gelekwa says there will come a time and people who they won't even hear the name of Buddha. They won't even know and hear the name of Guru Rinpoche. That's why the social media is so wonderful. Guru Rinpoche image is now it's permeating through social media. So therefore, it is blanketing the whole globe. Anyone who picks up a phone now and goes to whatever their social media preference happens to be, more than likely, they're going to see Guru Rinpoche, Buddha, Tara, Chenrezig, etc. So I count how many times do they appear. Oh, this is so wonderful. More. So it is happening exactly as it was prophesied. It may be an incorrect political statement now, but in the text it does say somewhat. First, the Buddha taught and then prophesied that after his parinirvana, not a more powerful, but a more appropriate enlightened being for the Kali Yuga would appear, or word it that way. And then it was prophesied that the Guru Rinpoche would teach in a way that would cut through the darkness of the Kali Yuga and bring the enlightenment to those who were open and ready to receive, like the fine mist or dust on a mirror just brushed away. When the iron bird flies west, to paraphrase, then the precious Buddhadharma will flourish. So it's been interpreted that yes, the iron bird, we know the analogies, etc., etc. But as we can see, here we are, a manifestation of the prophecy of the Buddha, of the manifestation of Guru Rinpoche. And as a result of our own past merit and karma that has come to fruition over many existences and rebirths, that we have arrived at this point. As Shantideva says, without causality, there is no phenomena coming into being. So we would have to follow the logic that the causality of the karma that went before, that this present moment is the resultant aspect. So therefore, we are all blessed, aren't we? Take a breath in, breathing out. And something I noticed with my teachers in all the aspects, they would begin talking. And we know sometimes I am speaking, but your mind is flying into the clouds, and you're already thinking about what you're going to eat for lunch or dinner, or where you're going to drive to, or how long is this going to go? I'm so bored. Don't worry. There will come a time when you'll be wide awake, looking into the eyes and the mouth and the flames of Mara. Then you wake up. Oh my goodness, but too late. So now, wake up. Be present. Not one of us has gotten any younger since the 11:30 hour. And we have all moved closer to the great timekeeper, Mara. But we will fool Mara. We know your trickery. We will not live in fear. You are our friend who is prodding us along to rise above. Mara didn't like this when the Buddha did it, so why should he like it when we do it? And Mara just slips away back into the placidness of the lake from which he appeared. Where is Mara's life? In our own ignorance and desire and anger. So we must eradicate these seeds, and maybe not use the word eradicate. We will eat the poison and transform it, transcend it, as we say. We will transcend by consuming and the transformation of these poisonous aspects, because we know at the root that intrinsically they are empty and they arise from our own creation. If they arise from our own creation of our own inner enlightened quality, then they must also have the same essence thereof. But we mistake them in our perceptions, and therefore they arise as the poisons. Take a breath in, breathing out, acknowledge and let go. At least a nanosecond of freedom, a nanosecond of open, spacious luminosity. Rest. So as I was saying, in terms of the talking, is first when I do performance, which I haven't done for a while, is I want to bore the audience. I want you to become bored and sort of go, roll your eyes and pick your fingernails and dig in your ear and don't go any further than that. And when they're sufficiently bored, then the main part of the show begins. And why? Because when you're bored, you daydream. You begin to lessen your bondage to our everyday stones of reality. And we have flights of fantasy in our mind. And may you dream and be bored and fantasize. Dawachen, Copper Mountain, Tushita Heavens, like this. So now you are sufficiently bored and you have daydreamed, because we don't even know how to listen that much anymore. Everything is, we want quick, fast, easy, cheap, not too much effort. His Holiness, sure sign of failure. But when we are bored, then we're just sort of present and there, perhaps with the hope of, may this pass quickly so I can go run about and distract myself. I hope it is not like that. But you will see it is exactly what we do. And when you find yourself in that arena, pause for a moment and take a breath and reestablish in whatever you're doing with awareness and with mindfulness, with the intent that it arise from loving kind. Even if you're cutting the vegetables, I used to really do the microbiotic type of diet. And so you don't put the negative energies into the food. When you cut, even on you're making prayer. Infuse the food with the blessings of the enlightened ones. You're sweeping the floor. Now there's an antiquated image, sweeping the floor. But it's nice, sweep the floor. Or when you're vacuuming, taking a shower and brushing your teeth and washing the dishes, whatever you do, you can always bring it back to being present in the moment with the intent to arrive at the quality of realization or the quality of enlightenment, which is ever present. Even when I'm sweeping up the bug, my mother off the floor to send it outside to freedom. Oh, I'm sweeping up all of the obscurations and the hindrances and defilements and the negative karmic action and disease of all sentient beings. And then now go be free. Like that. So you see as you go through the day, because if you think just sitting on your cushion is going to sway, then we're mistaken. It has to be integrated and live in your bones, don't you think? Does the Dharma and the precious teaching live in your bones? I hope as my bantering and talking about as my teachers, and you know that this gesture means stuff them till they feel like they're going to explode. And the moment you feel you're about to explode and you cannot take any more, then stuff some more in. Then you go, wow, the flowers are so beautiful. And the sunshine I feel upon my face. And when I walk through the air, I relish the space. I am alive, a conscious entity, a conscious human being in this environment, in this reality, in this universe, in this grand cosmos. I think this is blessing, a miracle, a life form as we are, and consciousness thereof. Oh, another one of my colleagues, Dr. Seiler, you can go online, think like a genius. Metaforming. Metaforming is a tool by which we can evolve consciousness we were talking about. So again, who evolved and showed this evolution of consciousness? Then the Buddha, Guru Rinpoche, our great masters, all the way down to the present, which we are inseparable from. Probably enough talking. My mind winds up and we have a lot to do. This is, I believe, Sojong just passed. Oh, and tomorrow is a celebration of Gyaltsen. So talking to Lama Rinpoche, we are so fortunate. We are directly connected all the way back to the two great masters, Gyaltsen and Longchenpa. You can read about them. And tomorrow we'll talk more and maybe make some teachings from Gyaltsen because it's his anniversary. All right. But anyway, I thank you as I can maybe continue to repeat the same thing over and over again. I want to follow in the steps of my great teachers. We were sitting one day in his room, and he said, I'm like that little, the crows. Caw, 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 caw. You hear someone sent me some footage from Bhutan day before yesterday. And again, I heard these birds. And he said, I'm like these birds. I just keep saying note again and again and again. Or I'm like the man who is doing that zzz, cutting the making the floor zzz, and then zzz, all day long. Oh, drive you crazy. But he says, I only know this, and therefore I will say it again and again and again. When Rinpoche gave teachings, somehow he always returned back to the essential point, to recognize the intrinsic nature of one's own mind, which was ever present. Look toward, let go. Let go of past. Do not examine the present, nor anticipate the future. At the moment of recognition, do not even hold on to that. In the unadorned state of wakefulness, be present and rest. Take a breath in again. Rest now. Oh, he's going to stop talking. Wonderful. Oh, I can just rest and be present. Isn't that what I wanted this morning anyway? Rest. Resting in stillness. Resting in silence. Resting with mindfulness and awareness. And gently breathe in through the nose and gently breathe out through the nose. And gently breathing out. The eye and the chin on the horizontal plane as you acknowledge with awareness the consciousness of seeing. Suspend labeling and discriminating. Acknowledging the consciousness of hearing. It's as though all sounds are that of the Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas, Guru Rinpoche. The consciousness of smell is as all things are the perfume and the fragrance of flowers. And taste consciousness, the amritic nourishment, the nectar of the gods one consumes. And the tactile sensation consciousness, one's whole body. And then the consciousness that knows its nature and essence. The consciousness that awakens to its existence, as I said before, in the grand cosmos. Breathe in again. And breathing out. So if I didn't complete the thought about Sojong, the time of renewal, the time of admissions, of omissions, and the acknowledgement of one, how one has moved or strayed from what you said you would do in terms of one's various vows, damsik, or connection. The main one, at least what I heard Member Rinpoche saying to me, the main one is the vow of forgetting or separating or straying from Rigpa, straying from the wakeful state undawn of the unity of emptiness and awareness, which is ever present. And we know it comes in a moment, going in the next. So we're constantly breaking that one. So we must restore. Then we have our refuge vows. You have the Bodhisattva vows, and you have the Tantric vows, your vows of our particular vehicle. And basically, not to go through all of those, but simple is, I hope you have not harmed anyone, not even a small insect. And especially, you did not create harm to yourself or harm to others through body, speech, or mind. Did we not engage in gossip and untruths and lying and distorted information that whenever possible in skillful ways, that we reveal the truth. We did not lie or gossip. Maybe you engaged in a small bit of embellishment, and then you said, just kidding, this is different. And then, so you did not harm, you did not lie, and definitely we did not steal anything. Maybe the same type of behaviors have happened of late, but I remember living in New York during the riots. I mean, where it was people would break into furniture stores and you would see them going down the street. Two people with a huge couch on their back, or they're carrying a TV, or they would bust into the drugstore, pharmacy, and get everything. This is not right, but it does speak to the deprivation of existence in some cases. So, not to harm, not to lie, and not to steal. At least those three vows we must try to keep. Then, not to engage in intoxicants or the overindulgence in those types of aspects. Then the last one, that one does not engage in inappropriate sexual activities that is harmful to yourself or harmful to others, and does not have the mutual consent. And we know we've had many social injustices in various quarters that have been pointed out in not just our society, around the planet, this type of thing happens. So you have these 5. I will engage in the practice to restore what I said I would do by establishing my initial intention and aspiration and engaging in the application of practicing thereof. Take a deep breath in again. And then while I'm still in my mind, how might you practice in a simple way, wherever you happen to be during the course of a day? Sit upon your seat and rest. Breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth, simply just 3 times, and with the idea that one is cleansing and purifying and opening their body, their speech, and mind. Then remain in stillness, remain in silence. Have mindfulness and awareness as you gently breathe in through the nose and gently breathe out through the nose. Longchen Ba, in one of his texts, even if you only do 7 cycles, breathe in, breathe out, count 1, breathe in, breathe out, and 2, and so forth until you arrive at 7. Maybe that's all you have enough time for. After the 7th, then you just rest in the recognition of calm abiding. And as you rest in the calm abiding recognition, then its antecedent quality of clarity, which is ever present, one recognizes. And that clarity and calm abiding is like the vastness of space. So you rest in the recognition of the spatiality of your own mind for a few moments. And then make a dedication. Simple practice. When I sit before we begin, I do some similar things, a little bit more. But I always remember our great master, Longchen Ba, Ramjang, Longchen Ba, Gyaltsen Lingpa. They're looking at me right now. Gyaltsen Lingpa, he's sitting like he's one hand behind his back, and his hand is in his lap, and his head's to the side, and he's listening to me. I'm only speaking your words, Gyaltsen Lingpa. If I say something wrong, then you can turn your head like that. If Gyaltsen Lingpa, this statue, ever does that, I will let you know. And then maybe I won't, because you won't believe me anyway, and you'll go, it's just my delusion. which perhaps it will be. But practicing is not that difficult. We have the time. We were talking about this last night. We have the time now. We can make it happen for the most part, a lot more than we were able to before. So when you see yourself sort of dallying about and wasting your time, as I see myself, I say, get your lazy behind, get up and go practice. There is no excuse at this point in time. So I hope you do the same, that you relish the preciousness of your life, that you do not hold it too tightly, and you appreciate it like a beautiful flower, and that you let that spread from your heart to truly be a benefit to others. So hopefully you have settled your mind. We are present in the moment. Now easy for me to see my master, because I just saw him last night. Blessings, waving, smiling, sitting, dressed all in orange. I always look, he looks like Buddha. He looks like a Guru Rinpoche. And I know that most of you have met with Kunjuk Rinpoche, and you know Master Gaelic, impeccable qualities in speaking and moving and arranging and getting whatever you want. So thus we say, most precious Guru, please think of me. Bestow the blessings that will free and ripen my mind, so that I may realize as quickly as possible for the benefit of all sentient beings. Most precious Guru, please think of me. Bestow the blessings that will free and ripen my mind, so that I may realize as quickly as possible for the benefit of all sentient beings. Most precious Guru, please think of me. Bestow the blessings that will free and ripen my mind, so that I may realize as quickly as possible for the benefit of all sentient beings. And then you should visualize Guru Rinpoche, Buddha, you can visualize, then Guru Rinpoche, you visualize, and then our precious master, Kunjuk Rinpoche, you visualize. And then in this, we are taking a refuge, so we can think we have the Dhammakaya, then Sambhogakaya, then the Manakaya in our present reality. And in that, so practicing, I have no one else to turn to, I say. I have no one else to turn to except you. I rely upon your blessings. I rely upon your guidance. May I be filled with your infinite knowledge and wisdom, so I can be of greater benefit to all sentient beings with the spontaneous arising of loving kindness and compassion for the benefit of all. So I say like this to myself. I say, once again, I stand before you and I ask in earnestness, may I receive your blessings. Namo Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gina Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gina Lagab Zojo. Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gina Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gina Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo. Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gina Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gina Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gina Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga. Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gina Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gina Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gina Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gina Lagab Zojo. Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gina Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gina Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gina Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo. Jo Lagab Zojo, Gina Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gina Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gina Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo. Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gina Lagab Zojo. Then you should reaffirm to yourself, if you have taken refuge, then why are we still so disturbed? Breathe in. Breathe out with a sigh. Okay, I am safe. I am beyond harm. I am blessed. I will be protected. I can rest. And in that you say, but if I have arrived there, when I see so much other suffering around, how can I truly be at rest? Therefore, sentient beings are numberless. I vow to liberate them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to transcend them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. Buddha's enlightened way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to liberate them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to transcend them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. Buddha's enlightened way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to liberate them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to transcend them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. Buddha's enlightened way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. So again, as we say, this is the practice of the Sojong to re-establish, restoring of our vows. And if you say what vows, then you just stated them. And so this is what we strive to complete, fulfill. And we turn to those who have given examples who have done that. And with reverence, we request, may we join you. Om Danze Nande Danze Dru Pe Taji Doja Zunga Zumba Ye Zange Dodan Yudon Babe Zo Om Na Zazo Dajo Taji Zo Dame Gabo Zamde Don Don Zamde Gabo Didra Badamba Guna Gumba Daji Dabajen Daba Zada Badani Zenjen Zane Gundu Dabebe Nije Jimba Zara Dabate Sunjun Dube Taji Babe Wa Jeba Kela Zazalu Shamba Junur Baden Doji Jen Zenre Zenwan Gumbu Zambeba Zaying Nimbo Nimba Nambaza Namga Nimbo Bajo Dundo Zong Nuba Doji Baga Nonzo Nobo Dawa Reje Nama Ye Zaza Nama Daji Baji Jo Chendo Zamba Gela Zazalu Rinjen Dojo Daji Joginga Dunzo Bonon Gongo Kumala Nanda Donda Bonzam Babiru Midu Yanzen Te Rinzen Doju Gigi Tajen Joju Yawa Jen Gigi Ma Jizu Jenwu Dimbe Babe Tashi Lamo Gela Tazalu Zamba Dondo Dondo Debe Bu Nendo Donda Lubu Zom Bagye Bando Mwa Meje Nando Zonde Zonde Gudu Dozo Nando Dondo Doji Je Barwa Rodre Tonje Gaze Zazu Gezu Gele Taje Jinde Duwa Gela Tazalu Dajo Dende Jawa Tombo Gila Jawa Zanwa Gonjo Ye Dondo Baba Zando Jishidu Taje dele bonzon and we should have the thought. My request has been answered. So we are entering into a creation of our own reality. In this reality, we invoke these enlightened beings. In others' reality, they invoke the samsaric beings. And we also are attached, instead of the 8 enlightened qualities, we are attached to the 8 worldly qualities. And the 8 worldly qualities are given out. Oh, Mara gives out the 8 ones and invites us, invokes us, entices us, and deludes us. But we see through the falsity of it and arrive at the state of the awakened ones. As Shantideva stated, Chonam Jele, Gele, John, De John, Zebe, John, Gola, Gombo, Kanya, Ba, Jinjo, Jimbo, Tige, Zon, Doa, Daba, Zambai, Sange, Dodange, Don La, Jinjo, Nebo, Jige, Ba, Daba, Dane, Gabzuji. Shirab Naze Danje Be Sombe Tsenjen Jombo Da Zangi Jombo Nege Sombe Chenzo Zangido Jeze Namga Namba Da Dowa Jeze Nego Ba Jeze Doji Nego Ne Dowa Tega Zawa So Jonam Jele Gele Jon Jezo Jeze Jebe So Gola Gombo Gane Ba Jenjo Jombo Jige So Doa Dabda Samba Ye Sange Dodange Dona Janju Nipo Jige Ba Daba Da Negabzuji Shirab Nanze Danje Pe Sombe Jenje Tundu Da Zange Tundu Nege Sombe Jenju Zange Do Jeze Namga Naba Da Doa Jeze Nego Ba Jeze Toje Nego Ne Doa Dega Zawa So Jonam Jele Gele Jo Jejo Jeze Jebe So Gola Gombo Ganya Ba Jinjo Jambo Jige So Doa Dabda Zamba Yi Sange Do Dange Don La Jando Nebo Jige Ba Daba Da Nega Zuji Zira Nanje Danje Be Zombe Chenjen Dondo Da Zange Dondo Nege Zombe Chenzo Zange Do Jeze Nanga Namba Da Doa Jeze Nego Ba Jeze Do Je Nego Ne Doa Derga Zawa So. All phenomena arise from their causes. Their causes are explained by the Buddha. Cessation of these causes too are taught thus by the great sage. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I realize full enlightenment. Imbued by wisdom and compassion today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind for full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain and dispel the misery, suffering, and the causality of ignorance and desire and anger in this world through loving kindness and compassion. Sergey Lombo, Joba, Jebego, Zage, Gobo, Juba, Zazago, Tayata, Womane, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Tayata Momane, Mone, Mahamuna Yesoha, Tayata Momane, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Tayata Momane, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha. Tayata Mone, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Tayata Momane, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Tayata Momane, Mone. Tayata Momane, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, O Mone, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Mone, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Mone, Zomane, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Mone, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Mone, Mone, Zomane, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Mone, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Mone, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Mone, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Mone, Zomane, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Mone, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Mone, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Mone, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Zomane, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Mone, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Mone, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Zomane, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Mone, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Mone, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Zomane, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Mone, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Zomane, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Mone, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Zomane, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha. Zomane, Mone, Mahamana Yesoha, Mone, Mone, Mone. Once again, we visualize receiving the blessings in the form of light directly from the Buddha, which we have visualized above us. Not only should we visualize that the Buddha is in front of us, but we should visualize all sentient beings of all the realms have gathered. And we can start with the closest being those who are in our immediate circle, those who you know are having difficulty and whatever. You put them right there by your side, and we all together, like, and remember, sometimes we'd be in Rinpoche's room. Maybe his room is very small, maybe as big as my room here, maybe a little bit bigger, but we all be just with our knees up and close together, sitting at the feet of Rinpoche, like that. So I think, oh, all the sentient beings are gathered. So having received the blessings and focus on the flower of your heart, lotus of your heart, and a moon disc on top of that, and the crystal on top of that, and the awe in the middle of that, and the whole configuration is radiant. Light rays like the moon and the sun in the 10 directions going out. They are the light rays, the particles, and waves of loving kindness and compassion for the benefit of all. Don't count, just contemplate, focus on the feeling, not just the thinking, but the feeling of the open of one's heart and the radiant quality of loving kindness and compassion. Maybe you're sitting, think of someone, oh, this person really harmed me, wronged me, right? Called me names, cheated me. Have more compassion, more loving kindness, because those are your greatest teachers, aren't they? Rest and practice in this contemplation. And as you sit and contemplate, it comes to mind. There was an earlier text, a translation, I believe, of the Dhammapala. It was called The Light of Asia. So the Dhammapala, the teachings of the Buddha, the light of Asia. But now Asia is everywhere. We must become the light of the universe, the light of loving kindness and compassion. It is not a grandiose idea. It is a human idea. It's an evolved consciousness idea. It is an enlightened idea, isn't it? You are the light. Each one of you. As it says, you must take up the light of loving kindness and compassion. If you do not, then who will? You leave it to someone else? Oh, someone else will do it? More often, more than likely, not. Be the light of Asia. Be the light of yourself, of your family, of your household, your workspace, your community, etc. Loving kindness and compassion. And as you breathe out, separate the fingers, let your eyes now come to the horizontal plane. Breathe in and out through your mouth. And the Buddha dissolves into the essence of light, which merges with the essence of your light. Indivisible, indifferent, conjoined together as they always have been. And you rest your mind again in the awakened, unadorned space. And when you breathe out, it's not that it came or went away. It was always present without coming and going. So as you breathe out, you remain in the awakened, unadorned state. Then you should visualize Guru Rinpoche. Om Urgyen Samten Ling Gonpa Gyaltsen Gyaltsen Gujur Hando Mambo Gurge Zazu Daruge Jede Loje Zazu Guru Bema Sede Om Urgyen Yuji Nanzan Bema Geza Dombola Yazen Joji Gujune Bema June Zazudra Gudur Hando Mambo Gurge Zazu Daruge Jendela Zazu Guru Bema Sede Om Urgyen Yuji Nanzan Bema Geza Dombola Yazen Joji Gurune Bema June Zatsudra Gudu Nando Mambugu Gege Zazu Daruge Jenjela Zazu Guru Bema Sidi Zaymahu Jojo Toge Gengi Senhamsu Joji Dojo Pega Bebega Jojo Dojo Jewa Jembogo Namga Sendo Doji Toreme Lama Chugi Kula Suwade Borgen Bema Jene La Suwade Dejen Durge Trumbe Sengamsu Konzon Yondan Yonten Legi Ye Yundan Jewa Jepe Doji Jedra Netso Sonzor Nama Ludzo Zugula Zawade, Boniem Bemaja Nela Zawade, Midge Denden Bezin Hamso Doje Chambo Jawe to Lanja, Gala de Dargi Dondoze, the Dan Majo Dodo Donzom, Nama Jubegula Zawade, Boniem Bemaja Nela Zawade. Kunzon dozam gera jira jen bema gera nina jujora juju kara judo gazozo kada lama dan la wade zene zebe duru tune dan dojo rondo nombe tongarga nakro rondo tonbe so tonge kode gogo zobe non chemba treme ozo jala wade zeje gunde dola juzu treme ozo oriento dozo Oza Lonje Namge Namjoba Jeme Limbe Jela Zowa de Duzun Gungen Petman Jini Zedo Dobo Gozo Golo Senge Limbe Limbe Bejon Zon Kunzon Zembe La Zowa de Omen Joge Genge Podanga Duzo Zenge Goje Guru Renzem Gugu Guzo Donzobe Zoe Lama Namla Sowa de Little mental gigo kibo dando, dozo samge goji go goge, ransom go 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 zo don se bazo we la meche la zo wate. Gyowa kundu yanda lamba dan, ro me toge ba la lo cho zen sa da la jo wando ne zo ne doji jenji go bando, tu so oma hom, oma hom. Awareness of the body, the speech, and the mind to cleanse and purify. Zoom, e, u, re, le, e, o, ganga, gaga, ganga, da, 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 baba, baba, yawala, wa, shaga, zara, sha. Ome, danama, hito, brava, hito, da, gata, hayo, vata, da, gensa, yundoroha, ye, vamene, maha, samana, soha. Bhadra Samaya Za Om Mamu Om Richa Ramani Bhava Daye Soha So Bhadra Samaya Za Om Mamu Om Bhadra Amrita Kundele Hana Hana Om The Rajing in the only also to be Lama down Nitso Beguns and Jogi Gabo, Donjo. Dutse Gavio Nitso or maybe Gunwan Gun, Yenam Gabaza, Samaza. Dorje Sampa. Sange Dodan Jogi, Jonamla, Janjo Badu, Dade Gabzo, Daje, Janjo, Gibe, Jonam, Jola, Benses and Gay Jobajo. Sange Dodan Jogi, Jonamla, Janjo Badu, Dade Gabzo, Daji, Janjo, Gibe, Jonam, Jola, Benses and Gay Jobajo. Sange Dodan Jogi, Jonamla, Janjo Badu, Dade Gabzo, Daji, Janjo, Gibe, Jonam, Jola, Benses and Gay Joba Joza Ombamo Zojina Rama Tembagu Umbaza Mahasri Heraga Dene Doji Toba Gudu Uze Ram Yang Zomzuarva Zudo Zalva Dharma Zove Zudo Dumbe Ninde Dinde Rinpoche Ninian Gejewe Nadu Torma Gado Doro Bumba Bunzo Tumba Dajan Gazo Chembogu Oma Hum Oma Hum Oma Hum Bome Bate Sapabida Rarba Zatzamaza Satana Pate Cheche de Banala Namo Sabada Bagata Bayu Mishu Mugube Sabu the Nugete Sapa Ranam Irena Kamosoha Namo Sabada Bagata Bayu Mishu Mugube Sabu de Sapa Ranam Kam Soha Namo Sabada Bagata Bayu Mishu Mugube Sabu the Nugete Sapa Ranam Irena Kam Soha Da na na ne la do Bune Pate Yaye Kata Zombaza Mahasri Harakor Dene Doje Gurva Guru Ram Yam Om Haraba Suto Saraba Dhanme Zube Sudoro Jume Dende Dende Rinpoche Ninian Zang Geje Gacha We Nando Dorma Gado Doro Momo Ponzon Saba Dajan Ganzo Jambogo Om Ahom Om Ahom Om Ahom Saraduturga Saraza Surunga Saraza Saruturga Saraza Om Om Sara Bigene Namo Sabadata Gata Bayumishu Mukube Sabata Magate Sapa Ramin and the Cameron Soha Om Saba Bigene Namo Sabadata Gata Bayumishu Mukube Sabata Sapa Ramin and the Kama Soha Om Saba Megane, Namo Saba Tatagata by Mishu Mukube Saba, that don't get the Sapa, Rama Hiranagam, Hiram Balenta, Taye, so. Senshan Sanje Jawada, Dova Gonda, Dova Guji. Don't get down, don't get Dova Guji, don't get maybe Demba Jumba down, Medewa Guji, Nuritan down, Dewan in the Zebit Mela, Namba Guji, Senshan Sanje Jawada, Dova Gonda, Dova Guji. Don't get down, don't get Gonda Dova Guji, don't get maybe Demba down. Medewa Guji, Nuritan down, Dewan and the Zebit Mela, Namba Guji. Senchen Tanje Jovada, Dova Gonda Dova Guji, Dorianda, Dorje, Gonda Dova Guji, Donge Mebe Deba Bada, Medewa Guji, Nidan, Dewa Nezebe Mela, Namba Guji. Sato Mando Jojen Sabada, Jezori, Gude Zawayi. Yoba Zeta Taje Chitaka, Tamje Toba, Tamje Chivu. Sashi Poje, Jojo, Mejo, Ram, Revalon, Zenide, Zambagi. Singers and the Medaboba, ye, Dongan and those in the Tobajo, Idana, Madrala, Kameda, Yame, Sashi Poje, Jojo, Mejo, Ram, Revalon, Zenide, Zambagi. Shangas and the Medaboba, ye, Dongan and those in the Tobajo, Idana, Madrala, Kameda, Yame, Sashi Poje, Jojo, Mejo, Ram. Rivalons and it is and buggies, and gets and the middle way, don't get those in that Tobajo. You don't run the Madrala, Kameda, Yame. Badru Zatu Samaya, Manopalaya, Badru Zatu Zanova, this is the Nubova, Sudokaya Nubova, Subogaya Nubova, Narado Nubova, Sova Siri Mebraya, Zarakama, Situm Situm Guru, Bhagavan, Sava Tatagata, Badru Manu, Samaya Zatu, Badru Zatu Samaya, Manopalaya, Badru Zatu Zanova. Dedu Mebowa, Dudokaya Mebowa, Dudokaya Mebowa, Amaratu Mebowa, Babaji Meboya Dudara, Dudume, Sedum, Sedum, Guru, Hum, Bhagavan, Tara Data Gata, Badra Mane, Muzo, Vende, Baba, Maha, Samaya, Satu, Badra, Samaya, Za, Doji Senpai. Done Dama Chiru Varga Dawa Jenu Onde Nama Dorje Zen Gaza Dondo Sobatu Dorje Jenje Nima Jola Sato Deba Jozan Dambo Tolo Sa Jede Sola Panyan Godo dawa debe den yonye dama gare debe gorye gogo we yaryam dero dudone Dutse chamzab zenge den go dada sambayi dada gamzam zenge ge lada nomo durga Donde mala chamba se Zombadra zata samaya manobaya badra zata denova dedu mebova Sudogaya mebova zubogaya mebova anaratu mebova so waziri mebeya zara mazume Siddham Siddham Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sova Tata Gata Padramane Muzavandibo Maha Samaya Saduva Patu Sata Samaya Manabalaya Badru Sadu Denova Dedu Nabua Sudokaya Nabua Subokaya Nabua Anaradu Meboa, so city, Mibray of the Sada Namazume, Setum Situm Guru, Bhagavan. Sada Dada Gata Badran and Muzum and the Bawa Maha Samaya Satua, Badrazata Samaya, Manobadaya, Badrazadu Nenova, the Meboa, Zudokaya Meboa, Zudokaya Meboa. Anaratu Meboa, so city, Mibray of the Sada Namazume. Sitam Sirum Guru Hum, ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sawa Dada Gata Badra Mane Muzo Menzi Bawa Maha Samaya Satua. Badruzata Samaya, Manobadaya, Badruzatu Denova, Dedu Meboa, Sudogaya Meboa, Sudogaya Meboa, Anaradu Meboa, Zawa Ziri Mebrea, Zaranama Zutume, Sitam Sirum Guru Hum, ha 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 ho, Bhagavan. Sada Dada Gata Badra Mane Muzo Menzi Bawa Maha Samaya Satua, Badruzata Samaya, Manobadaya, Badruzatu Denova. Dedu Meboa, Sudogaya Meboa, Subogaya Meboa, Anaradu Meboa, Zawa Ziri Mebrea, Zaranama Zutume. Sitam Sirum Guru Hum, ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sawa Dada Gata Badra Mane Muzo Menzi Bawa Maha Samaya Satua. Zambadu Zata Zamaya Manavada Yabadu Zatu Denova, Sudogayo Mebu, Sudogayo Mebu, Hanaratu Mebu, Siri Mebrea to Zalagam. Sitam Sirum Guru Hum, ha Bhagavan, Sawa Dada Gata Badra Mane Muzo Menzi Bawa Maha Samaya Satua, Zata Samaya Manavada Yabadu Zatu Denova, Sudogaya Mabua, Zubogaya Mabua, Narada Mabua, Sawa Siri Mebrea to Zalagam. Sitam Sirum Guru Hum, ha Bhagavan, Sawa Dada Gata Badra Mane Muzo Menzi Bawa Maha Samaya Satua, Badra Nanubaya, Badruzaru Denova, the Dudamova, Zudogaya Mabova, Zubogaya Mabova, Narada Mabova. So was it in Mabrea, the Zaragama, the Tanzanian Guru Home, Bhagavan, Zavadata, and the Zombadus at the Zamaya Manovara, Baduzaru Denova, the Dudamova, Zudogaya Mabova, Zubogaya Mabova, Narada Mabova. So was it in Mabrea, the Zaragama, the Tanzanian Guru Home, Bhagavan, Zavadata, Baduzadu Nenova, did the Mabova, Zodogaya Mabova, Zodogaya Mabova, Handarata Mabova, so was it in a prayer, the Zoramazume, Zedum Zedum Guru Hum, ha Bhagavan, Sarada Dagata Baruman and Mazal and the Bava Mahazamaya, the Dova, Zata Zamaya, Manova, the Mabova, Zodogaya Mabova, Zodogaya Mabova, Anuradu Mabova, so was it in a prayer, the Zoramazume, Zedum Zedum Guru Hum, ha Bhagavan, Samaya the Dova, Badazata Zamaya, Manova, Yabazata Denova, did the Mabova, Zodogaya Mabova, Zodogaya Mabova, Anuradu Mabova, so was it in a prayer, the Zoramazume, Zedovadum Badruzatu Zamaya Manova, Badruzatu Denova, Dedu Mabova, Zodogaya Mabova, Zodogaya Mabova, Anuradu Mabova, Sidum Zidum Guru Hung Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sora Dada Gata Badruna Nemuzo Vente Bova Mahasamaya Bhagavatum Badazata Zamaya Manova Sudugaya Mabua Zubagaya Mabua Anarada Mabua Zavazidin Payatu Zara Zamazudum Guru Hung Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sada Dada Gata Badruna Nemuzo Vente Bova Mahasamaya Satua Badruzata Zamaya Manovadaya Badruzata Denova Sudugaya Mabua Subagaya Mabova, Narada Mabova, Zawaziri Mabaya, the Zoram Guru Hum, ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sarada Gata Badruma Nemuzo Mendebova, Samaya, Satua, Badazata Samaya, Manobadaya, Badazata Denova, the Mabova, Sudugaya Mabova, Zubagaya Mabova, Narada Mabova, Zawaziri Mabaya, the Zarama, Zedum Zerum Guru Hum, ha ha ho, Bhagavan, Zawada Badruma Nemuzo Mendebova. Samaya, Manovadaya, Badruzaru, Denova, Mabua, Zodogaya, Mabua, Zodogaya, Mabua, Narada Mabua. So was it a Mabaya, the Zaragama, the Zedum Guru, ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Savada, Badruna, Samaya, Zambadru, Samaya, Manovadaya, Badruzaru, Denova, Mabua, Zodogaya, Mabua, Zodogaya, Mabua, Narada. City Mabaya, the Zaragama, the Zedum Guru, ha ha ho, Bhagavan, Savada, my name is Samaya, the Lord, Badazata, Samaya, Manovadaya, Badazatu, Denova, Dedu, Mabua, Zodogaya, Mabua, Zodogaya, Mabua, Handarata, Mabua, Zodogaya, Mabua, Satum Serum Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Savada Gata Badru Mane Muzo Mende Bhava Mahasama Yoto Mata Zata Samayamano Patruza do Denova de Mabua Zuga Yamabua Zuga Yamabua Anarada Mabua Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Sada Data Gata Badru Mane Muzo Mende Bhava Mahasama Yoto Mata Zata Samayamano Anarada Mabua Zavazin Mabia Zarama to the Sedum Sidum Guru Hong Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sada Dada Gata Baruman Mudon the Bhavana Samaya Sato Badrusa the Samaya Manubaya Badrusa Mabua Sudogaya Mabua Subogaya Mabua Anarada Mabua Zavazin Mabia Zarama Sudum Sidum Guru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Zavada Gata Baruman Mudon the Bhavana Zubugaya Mabua, Narada Mabua, Siddham Siddham Guru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Zavada Vadaman Mahasamaya Namaya Manubaya Sudogaya Mabua, Zubagaya Mabua, Narada Mabua, Zavazim Zaragama Siddham Guru Hong Ha 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 Sada da da ga da ba ru ma ne mu zo men de ba wa ma ha sa ma ya da do wa rum ba du za du sa ma ya ma no ba da ya ba du za du ne no ba de 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 ne bo wa du do ga ya me bo wa du do ya na ra do me bo wa za wa zi re me be ya du za ru ga ma zu do me de 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 ne ru hum ha 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 ho ba ga wa so ba da da ga da ba ru ma ne mu zo be de ba wa ma ha sa ma zu ma du za du sa ma ya ma no ba da ya ba du za du ne no ba de 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 ne bo wa su do ga ya me bo wa zu do ga ya me bo wa na ra do me bo wa zu de ne me ya du za ru ga ma Siddham Siddham Guru Hong Ha Ho Bhagavan Zavada Gata Baru Mane Bazo Mende Bhava Mahamaya Tatua Badu Zatu Samaya Mano Badru Zatu Denova Dedu Mabova Zudo Gaya Mabova Zudo Gaya Mabova Narada Mabova Zudo Zidane Payata Zaraga Mazudo Mede Siddham Guru Hong Ha Ho Sada Data Gata Baru Mane Bazo Mende Bhava Mahamaya Tatua Badu Zatu Samaya Mano Badaya Badu Zatu Denova Dedu Mabova Zudo Gaya Mabova Narada Mabova Zova Zidane Payata Zaraga Mazudo Mede Siddham Guru Hong Ha Ho Bhagavan Sada Data Gata Baru Mane Bazo Mende Bhava Mahamaya Tatua Badu Zatu Samaya Mano Badaya Badu Zatu Denova Dedu Sudogaya Mabua Zobagaya Mabua Narada Mabua Zobazare Mebaya Zara Mazuda Mezan Guru Hong Ho Bhagavan Sabada Dagada Barumane Muzavete Bhavana Zamaya Zamaya Manavaya Mabua Sudogaya Mabua Zobagaya Mabua Narada Mabua Zobazare Mebaya Zara Mazuda Mezan Guru Hong Ho Bhagavan Sada Dagada Barumane Muzavete Bhavana Zamaya Zamaya Manavaya So the Honorable was over the Mebea, the Azamaya, the one of the Zamaya, so was it in the Sada da da ga da ba ru ma ne mu zo me de ba wa ma za ma ya za do ba ru za da za ma ya ma no ba da ya ba da za da ne no ba du ma bu wa zo do ga ya ma bu wa zo ga ya ma bu wa na ra da ma bu wa zo ba de ne me ya da za da ma du da me de ah ho ba ga wa zo ba da da ga da ba ru ma ne mu zo me de ba wa ma za ma ya za do ba ru za da za ma ya ma no ba da ya ba ru za du ne no ba du ma bu wa zo do ga ya ma bu wa zo ga ya ma bu wa na ra da ma bu wa zo ba de ne me ya da za da Sudum Zerum Guru Hong Ha Bhagavan Zavada Gada Varamane Mazumende Bhava Zumbadu Zata Samaya Manubadaya Baduzaru Denova, Dudu Mabova, Judogaya, Mabova, Zogaya, Mabova. Anarada Mabova, so was it maybe the Zaragama, the Guru, Bhagavan. Sarada Gadabaru, Madamazama, Zamaya, Zamaya, Manogaya. Baduzaru Denova, Dudu Mabova, Zodogaya, Mabova, Zogaya, Mabova, Anarada Mabova, so was it maybe the Zaragama. Sojong Guru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Zavada Gada Varu Mani Muzavede Bhavama Zamaya Sadhua Badu Zada Zamaya Manu Badu Zadune no Ba Didu Mabua Sudogaya Mabua Zugaya Mabua Anarada Mabua Zavazade Nebaya Zara Namazudune Sojong Guru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Zavada Gada Varu Mani Muzavede Bhavama Zamaya Sadhua Zamaya Badu Zadu Dudu Mabua Zudogaya Mabua Zugaya Mabua Andarada Mabua Zavazade Nebaya Zara Namazudune Satum Zirum Guru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Zavada Gada Varu Mani Muzavede Bhavama Zamaya Sadhua Zaduna Badi Dudu Mabua Zudogaya Mabua Zubagaya Mabua Andarada Mabua Zavazade Nebaya Satum Zirum Guru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Zavada Gada Varu Mani Muzavede Bhavama Zamaya Zumbadu Zadu Zamaya Manavara Yabadu Zadu Denava, Zudugaya Mabua, Zubagaya Mabua, Anarada Mabua, Zavazari Mabaya Zara Zamadu Mezan Guru Hong, Ha Ha Ha, Bhagavan Zavada, Samaya Zadu, Badu Zadu Zamaya Manavara Yabadu Zadu Denava, Mabua, Zudugaya Mabua, Zubagaya Mabua, Anarada Mabua, Zavazari Mabaya Zara Zamadu Mezan Guru Hong, Ha Ha Ha, Bhagavan. Sada da 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 mane maza mende bava ma sama ya zado wa dom bada zado sama ya mano bada ya bada zado de no ba de 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 no bo wa zado ga ya no bo wa zado ga ya no bo wa na ra da no bo wa zado ga de me ya zado ra ma zado de sudum zerum guru hong ha 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 ho ba ga ma zo ba da 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 ba da mane maza mende bava ma ha sama ya zado wa bada zado sama ya mano bada ya badu zado de no ba de 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 no bo wa zado ga ya no bo wa zado ga ya no bo wa na ra da no bo wa zado ga de me ya zado ra ma zado me ya zado Baba Mahazama Yadado Varum Badazada Zama Yamana Badaya Badazada Denova, Digital Nabova, Zogaya Mabova, Zogaya Mabova. Honorado Mabova, Zavaziri Mabaya, Zara Mazuda, Zitum Zirum Guru. Sada Dada Badu Manimuzo and the Bova, Zama Yadado, Badazada Zama Yamana Badaya Badazada Honorado Mabova, Zavaziri Mabaya, Zara Mazuda, Zitum Zirum Guru. Zumbadu Zamaya Manavaya Badu Zadu Denova, Didu Mabu was a Dogaya Mabu was a Bogaya Mabu, Anarada Mabu was a Demaya to Zara Zumbadu Zadu Zamaya Manavaya Badu Denova, Didu Mabu was a Dogaya Mabu was a Bogaya Mabu, Anarada Mabu. So was it Mabaya to Zara Gamadu de Mezim Guru, Zadu de Nova de Mabu was a Dogaya Mabu was a Bogaya Mabu, Anarada Mabu was a Vizidi Mabaya to Zara Gamadu de Mezim Guru, Samaya Zadu, Badu Zadu Zamaya, Manavaya Badu Zadu de Nova de Zubagaya Mabua, Anarada Mabua, Zavazili Mabaya, Zaragama, Samaya Zadua, Badu Zadu Samaya, Manobalaya, Badu Zadu Denova, Dedu Mabua, Sudogaya Mabua, Zubagaya Mabua, Anarada Mabua, Zavazili Mabaya, Zaragama, Zudume, Zedum Sidum Guru Hong Ha Ha Bhagavan. Sarada Gada Vaduna Nemazama, the Boa Maha Samaya, Satu. Gombo dene meje bomba yi damze namne gamzo na nama gombo gamzo je zoba doje zembe ade doje zembo jene jen zoba dala dabzo je gonzo dan zawa dan ye ye damze namba tamje tola zazo deba da dreba ne to deme zo tamje jeje daba se do so Chijo ba doje chamba gyunje chamba dan je pe virge bor goje te tre nedo tamje chamba ni no zenga wa zenze udo jenge ramba tembe gende Renegan Dorje Tamba Melo Melo no de to what about so Orge Dama Yige do Tubo Tuba de Uzo to Kunzo Nye Chonda Tibeto Ten Ringan Ten Dan Bimba Renzendu Senge Padu Zumba Drozato Home, Zumba Drozato Zumba Drozato Zumba Drozato Umbadrozado, 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 Zombadrozado, 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 Umbadrozado, 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 Zombadrozado, Umbadrozado, 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 Zombadrozado, Umbadrozado, Umbadrozado, Zombadrozado, Umbadrozado, 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 Zombadrozado, Umbadrozado, Umbadrozado, Om Badra Santo Om Ye Rebe Ye O Ananga Kaka Ganga Dada Dana Dada Dana Dada Dana Baba Bama Yawa Shaga Sara Sha Om Badra Zata Samaya Manubadaya Badu Zatu Denova Dedu Nabova Zuga Yamabova Zuga Yamabova Andara Nabova Zogasi Nebraya Zara Citizen Guru Home, ha 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 ha, Salada, Muzaland, Balama, Samaya, Badua, Omedama, Hidubara, Hidubagata, Wataka, Yodorova, is on in Maha, Samana, the brief fulfillment offerings. Yazo Medu Jamwe Yunzu Lama Yidam Lazo Yunzu La Ranju Tonye Ninje Kondoru Reba Yeze Maba Tamze Bo Soje Yamba Doma Habreta Konda Yeze Nonze Tobago Dozo Neda Baje Tometa Donye Tonze Tomba Tobago Sono Java Mando Gondeta, Tome Rata Mega Nonjeto, Sojo Jenje Jawa Bebo, Zenze Geje Gata Tobago, La La Deje Sesu. Zombadruzata Samaya, Manuvalaya, Badruzaru Denova, Dedu Meboa. Sudogaya Meboa, Zubogaya Meboa, Anaradu Meboa, Savazere Mebrea, Zazara, Mazutome, Zudum Guru Home, Savada Gata, Vadramani, Muzavendu, Zavana, Samaya, Zumbadruzata Samaya, Manuvalaya, Badruzata Denova, Anaradu Meboa, Zavazere Mebrea, Zazara, Mazutome, Zara Guru Home, Bhagavan, Zava Gada Gada Varumane Muzavate Bhavana. Samaya Sadhu. Then to invite the Dhammapalas, Dhamma protectors, the oath-bound ones. We say Namo Guru Be, Namo Guru Be, Namo Guru Be. Om Shri Benza Hera Ga Rule Rule Om Jo Om Be. Dene Baja Dane Hanyam Gon Dube Toje Gun Mon So Do. Damse Yeje Yeme Tutse Tre Midze Namge Gurye Guru Do. Nuse Ram Yam Ze Om Ahon Soma Om. Sri Loa Ose Dorje Yeje De Bende Kate Tawa Sazona Dorje Konje Dorje Dorje Chama Dude Tode Konje So Om Mahakala Kamo Kako So Yege Sade Budo Madona Lata Baba Mene Tama So Bado Budo Chama Namjege Yeje Doda Doma Deje La Baje Doje Toma 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 Gende Deje Toma Toma So Geje Bema Toma Tome Dobe Doje Towa Toma Ye Doje Doje Toma Gende Geje Doje 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 Bala Doje 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 Gato Doje 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 Tena Deme Dene Deme Doje Doje Tena Dowe Banyo Rade Saso Saso Gato Doje Geba Gozo Gite Gade Da Bana Doje Gozo Doje Doje Legba Doje Zondo Zondo Doje Gozo Meze Gaba Da Dore Gade Doje Tena Dowe Raje Doje Doje Gada Saso Doje Zamba Zamba Doje Gada Doje Gada Yoge Sange Doba So Swe Rado Bema Dada Doba So Doza Dobe Buge Kuche Denge Kunye Doba Deche La Abde Kunye Dobe Kunye Yela Doba Kunye Dobe Doje Doba Zamba Doje Yuje Doba Gebe Doje 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 Doba So Doge Doge Jamba Jamba Zaje Dobe Jamba Zaje La Baje Buje Zaje Zaje Doje 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 Doba So Doge Doba Yege Zaje Bende Nabo Laze Doba La Doge Bodo Dema Dema De Doge Jambo Zajo Bakura Doge Jambo Zema Dode Doge Namo Doge 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 Gambo Benza Teleza Kanya Yayam Segu Domange Dodo 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 Deje La Jeje Razu Radu Radu Re Yama Benda 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 De Kawa Tete Kawa Kawa Doge Gato Zonange Jodo Doma Deje La Doje 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 La Mabe Doda Dodo Da Bada Doda Doma Doje Doje Kondo Do Sada Dene Doma Ye Baje Doje Dema Do Domje Domje Dema So Doje Doje Dodo So Dome Dada 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 Dama So Mala Dode Dama Dada Dama Dama So Dene Dene Dema Dama Dada Dada Dama Dema Dode Dama Yoga Dode Kondo So Badruzado Zamaya, Manobalaya, Badruzado Denova, Dedudu Novoa, Sudogayo Novoa, Zubogayo Novoa, Anorado Novoa, Zawa City Nebriade, Zawadama Zudune, Zedun Zedun Guru Home, Zawa Dadagata, Zadunane Nuzavende, Bawa Ma, Zamaya, Badruzado Zamaya, Manobalaya, Badruzado Denova, Dedudu Novoa. Sudogaya Mabova, Sudogaya Mabova, Anarado Mabova, doesn't fit in Guru Hum, Bhagavan, Badu Zada Zamaya Manovada Yabadu Zada Zavazuri Mebrea Zara Lamazume, doesn't fit in Guru Hum, Bhavana Samaya Sadu. Dusu Sange Guru Rinpoche, Guru Rinpoche, Chambosa, Bajikansa Dudu Dubosa, Soba Dusu, Chinchela Dusu. Chinazawa Bade Jova Danzamba Luge Jova Jendelo, Dusu Sange Guru Rinpoche, Guru Rinpoche, Chambosa, Bajikansa Dudu Dubosa, Soba Dusu, Chinchela Dusu. Chinazawa Bade Jova Danzamba Luge Jova Jendelo, Dusu Sange Guru Rinpoche, Guru Rinpoche, Chambosa, Bajikansa Dudu Dubosa. Soba Dusu, Chinchela Dusu, Chinazawa Bade Jova Danzamba Luge Jova Jendelo, Dusu Sange Guru Rinpoche. Guru Ganda Dewa Jamboja, Baje Concerta, the Boza, Zoba, the Zojangela, the Zojana, the Vata Jovana, Samba Luge, Joba, Jenje. So now, just home, home, home. The completion stage. The simple teachings from Talopa. Rest. Like a sand structure dissolving away into the sea. It was there, but no longer left to see. Do not thrash about and look and try to extract from what is gone to the vastness of the sea. Rest. In this brief period, whatever arises in your mind dwells and cease. Does not alter, affect, or change the vastness of the space of your mind. Do not hold on or change or alter or fixate to whatever arises, dwells, or ceases. Let go, let be, rest. There is direct vigilance, partial vigilant, and non-vigilant. Perhaps practice the middle, partial vigilance, meaning that you would check in. Am I distracted by the arisings of thoughts, etc.? And when I do recognize, look to the source from which they have arisen, not the reflection of the arising, but looking toward that primordial ground source. Let go. Like looking into your own mirror, but don't become fascinated with your reflection. Rest. The emptiness of the looker, the emptiness of looking, and the emptiness of what is looked at. Rest. Gently breathing out. Dorje Samba Dorje Ne Doan Nyanyo Bade Nishila Yubasho. Gunred when was and was and guns so Baden Dova Mame Dova Chenred Senwan Tinsen Ganzo Jabed Gato Bado Dan Dorje. Zegume Kabzo Kenjo Temboji Kambo Kwanjo Melo Rinpoche Zeve Meze Gajo Rajen Rajen Runo Dajen Dajen So Do this and get and get Bugule, Nina go do not and buy it, and but the Zembend and Zangan Sandonia, and John let me say good got it. Told I'm good, so then let you go. Thupten look me, Quincy Dumbadam, Killiam Yoa, Dicky Yoa, the Shuman, Sons of the Nunus engage a large Bajo, Timbe Bagula, then disengage with it, then you like it. Timbe no dajo baget and by your ring of it, Ashijo. To them the bed and gin on Temba, the good and bed not bed, and Zumeda made them bars it, they bar. Sidro do some good beds and good jay, Chenjos and Jordan Boje, Maki, but no gay good jay, but number me by ye. Kune kontu bebo so kazo da ye don't wait on do go yen do ju shen bei she do ju. Non drove par le me gon so don dan ba ram da ta shi da le do. Ta ya ta unga de ga de pera sanga de bode so ha. Ta ya ta unga de ga de pera sanga de bode so ha. So as we conclude today, I am not trying to emulate. I'm only puppet and servant of the Buddha and Guru Rinpoche. But the reason I hold this flower, which I hope you can see, is to remind you, let the blessings within arise and blossom like the fragrance of a flower, filling the space and catching the eye and invoking beauty. Because you are the flower, you are the fragrance, and you are the beauty. As you go through the rest of the day, recognize how fortunate you are and rejoice in that. And when you find yourself being negative, then remember the flower of loving kindness and compassion always resides within your heart. And like we say in the great No actor, it must reflect in your eyes. I want Master Z to make a painting of the flower of the eye that reveals the loving kindness and compassion of the heart. With that said, please, everyone, enjoy the rest of this day. Make it a magical display. And until we meet again,